Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Monday evening update. We had some interesting past week, and I wanted to bring you the latest news as they come in. Today, we had a great update from the State Department about K1 visas. K1 visas processing. Lots of folks were asking about it, and I'm really worried about it. So we're going to focus on that. I'll give you a quick update and try to answer a few of your questions. So once again, Monday night, we have some good updates to start the week regarding K1 visas in all embassies, consulates around the world. And I think you're going to like those news as we share them. So welcome as you're joining in right now. Let me see. Welcome, Giselle. Welcome, Henry. A lot of you guys are here. I appreciate all of you. So, Garank, give you some shout out here. Garank, here we go. Mahmoud, Jason, and let's dive right in. Give me a sec, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, so I've been giving you updates in the past few weeks about different processes, and I think the K1 visa has been one of those things that people just been waiting for so long. So I've got some good news. Before we dive in, if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Click that bell to be notified so you don't miss any of our videos or our live updates, and also give us that big like so that YouTube can share this video to more people just like you. My name is Jacob Sapochnik, and I'm an immigration attorney located here in San Diego, California, and I produce those videos every single week. We help clients in all 50 states. So let's jump right into the good news. So I want to share with you what the State Department released today. Here we go. So basically what the State Department released today, I'll try to enlarge it a little bit, is an announcement, and they're saying that they're going to start, as consulates and embassies are reopening slowly, they're going to start giving speedy processing to K1 visas. Specifically, they're going to say that if they are, depending on the consulate, you have to check with your consulate, but specifically what they're saying is that, as you know, these visas are typically given for 4 months validity. And so they said they're going to revalidate those petitions in 4 months increment without needing to file for new petitions. So as it says here, I-129 petition, typically valid for 4 months, and consular officers may revalidate their I-129 petition in 4 months increments. And for more cases impacted by the suspension, it would not be necessary to file a new I-129. So that's major news because, as many of you know, and a lot of our K1 subscribers and all of the people that are watching this channel have been complaining that there's no news about K1s. Essentially, they're stuck. And moreover, some embassies were not even allowing for the interviews of K1 because mistakenly they said that K1 visas are subject to the proclamation, which they're not. And I've done a video before where we specifically showed where some embassies, like London, where 1 week they said that K1 visas are subject to the proclamation, and then they changed their mind, and then they realized that the laws are specific, saying that K1 visas are not. But to this day, actually, there are quite a few embassies and consulates worldwide that still prohibit applicants from applying for K1 visas because they are claiming that they are subject to a proclamation, which they are not. So with this announcement today, as I showed here, the State Department recognizes that K1 visas needs to get priority at consulates and embassies that are open for interviews now. And my suggestion to all of you is, if you're dealing with your individual embassy, please email that embassy, show them that statement from the DOS, and try to get your appointment scheduled as soon as possible. They are giving priority to K1 visas because, like I said, K1 visas, they're short duration, and we have a lot of couples that have been separated for months and months, and it's very difficult to get this process. So what I can tell you is that before this announcement, so we had 2 or 3 cases last week that we were able to expedite. One was at the embassy in Manila. We have another one at the embassy in Frankfurt. And the third case was in the embassy, U.S. Embassy in Pakistan. So all these cases, this was before this announcement. What we did is we prepared a package with an email where we showed the hardship to the applicants, to this case. One of them was actually a case where there was a nurse coming to the U.S. and she was also a K1 visa. So that case was approved in 48 hours. But the other 2 cases, they were not healthcare workers. They were just cases where the couple were just separated more than 8 months. And it's just been unreasonable, and we're showing that it has a toll on the relationship, and they're not able to do what they're supposed to be doing. So those cases worked for Expedited, and I encourage all of you, if you're watching this, try to contact your embassy to try to get your cases expedited. But as of today, with this announcement, we feel that, hopefully, the embassies are going to put those cases at a priority. So they'll be able to move K1 cases. And I'm going to get to your questions in a second, guys. Please post those questions in the comments and I'll get to you. But the important thing about this announcement, it shows us that they are trying to get back to some sort of normal routine processing. We do still have issues with CR1 cases, with regular marriage cases. Those are still not being prioritized. We have a lot of couples that are not getting their interviews. So even though the posts are still closed, CR1 cases, regular marriage cases, couples are still being separated. And we encourage you to try to utilize the expedited emergency procedures that the embassies have. Again, we had quite a few success cases where we were able to expedite CR1 cases, trying to get those interviews because of reasons of separation, some medical conditions, and hardship to the U.S. citizen spouse. So I definitely encourage you to be in touch with your U.S. Embassy. The worst thing you can do right now is not to be proactive on your cases. Remember that before this announcement today, there was going to be already a class action that was getting ready to be filed against the government for K1 visa delays. The K1 visa had been affected significantly by this proclamation. First and foremost, because of the confusion. They first classified K1s as immigrant visas, and then they started to have inconsistency at the embassies. So we feel that this announcement from today was a direct result to a threat that quite a few groups were going to sue the government once again because of K1 visa delays. So hopefully this is going to help. But remember, those of you that are joining us right now, I'm going to put this on the screen again. This was an announcement today from the Department of State regarding K1 visa applications, specifically saying that posts are going to resume K1 visa application processing in all embassies right now as they reopen. Once again, it depends on the country conditions. So it's really important to check with your specific embassy. And they said also that petitions that are expiring the 4 months validity, they're going to be renewed in 4 months increments. And specifically, you're not going to be required to file new I-129 forms at this time. So let me look at some of your questions, guys. So Daria is asking, is there a lawsuit being filed for spouse visa delays? So this is something that is also being in the talks right now because, spouse visa delays are being, it's a reality right now. CR1 visas are not being issued right now. Specifically, the excuses that the consulates are closed. But there are ways to get those expedited if you contact the consulates. And I believe that if they're not going to be proactive about scheduling marriage cases, CR1s, there's going to be definitely litigation, just like with K1 visas. Bibi is asking, 3 years citizenship counted from the date you get the conditional green card? Yes, that is correct. This is a question for green card in country. Let me see if you have any more questions about K1s, because I know I'll be getting a lot of questions. Let me see here from Jared Kaur. My K visa was approved in January. Now I'm waiting for my K visa interview from the last 8 months. Exactly, Jadip. So that is the reason why the State Department announced this today, because a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on the government to get those visas, to get those K1 visas issued, to get those interviews scheduled. And I think we're going to see an influx of interviews in the next 3 months for people to get their interviews, because, what's the point of getting a K1 if you have to wait 8 months to get your interview? So we'll see what happens. But again, there is a litigation forming right now to sue the government because of the severe K1 visa delays. So if this expedited processing is not going to go through, it's probably going to take even more. Let's see. Here we go. Anna says, my attorney submitted an expedited request on August 17 for my husband's interview. Haven't heard anything yet. How long does it take? So Anna, that's a good question. So our expedited requests in all 3 cases took us about 3 to 4 days. So 3 to 4 days. If you don't get an answer in 3 to 4 days, there's something wrong with the expedite, and it's important to do another follow-up or take it to the next level. And like I said, there is a specific way to prepare those expedited cases so they get the attention of the State Department. Because there's no point for you to just send it without any results. Otherwise, they're gonna be ignoring you. So it is really important to prepare your expedite correctly the first time, because otherwise, they're just gonna ignore your emails and requests. So it's really important to be prepared and do so. Do not give up. Specifically for CR1 marriage cases, I know there are delays, but remember, embassies are working. Many of them are working since July 15th, and not all of them are open depending on the country conditions. So it is up to you to follow up with the particular embassy, and if they're not ready for interviews, try to submit your expedited, because those do work, and I encourage you to do so. Let me take a few more questions, and then you will continue to post your questions on in the comments, and I'll keep answering them. Manal, when will the embassy in Montreal open for processing non-immigrant visas? We believe that the Canadian embassies are going to be opening in mid-September, so stay tuned for that. Now, remember, guys, I encourage you to join our Facebook group. The link is in the description of this video, because that's where I post a lot of these updates before I go on YouTube. Because a lot of our members of our group, they share their experience with the different embassies. We have more than 75 embassies represented in that Facebook group. So I highly encourage you to click that link in the description so you can join. It's a free group, and you can see how people report what's happening in their embassies. This is how we knew, by the way, in June, that the embassy in Frankfurt made a mistake for K1 visas, and they were denying them. And we emailed them with the requirements that K1s are exempt from the proclamation. And guess what? The week after, they reopened and updated the website. So the group is very powerful, and I encourage all of you to join. The link is in the comments below. Also, remember, if you're here for the first time, I see a bunch of you joining in right now the live stream. Subscribe to our channel, click that like to be notified. I don't want you to miss any of our live announcements anymore. So once again, guys, I promise you I'll go back to the comments after the video is live. I just wanted to come out here. This was just announced today. State Department update about K1 visa expedite processing. They resume processing for K1 visas, and they're going to be renewing the validity of these visas in 4 months increments. It's huge news. So this is for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. This community would not be anything without you. So I appreciate each and every one of you for the comments, for the suggestions. You're the best, and I appreciate all of you. So once again, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you in the next video.